right. Let's get sound check. Somebody out there, tell us if you can hear us. Please say yes. No, my restream says 14 people are watching. All right, Rashius87 says they can hear us. Is the sound good? Is it balanced? I don't want Francois complaining about it later. Everybody say something. Ryan, say something. I can hear Darren and no one else. Okay, how about this, guys? How about this? Say something, guys. How about now, guys? Should be able to hear that, guys. You should be able to hear that. Discord video. Still just me. Okay, hang on. Output capture.
We should go back to Skype.
Okay. How's that? How's that, Beeps?
They're gonna have to tell us.
Hello?
Can they hear me?
Okay, there we go. Is there
I don't
an
know.
echo or is it all singular?
I can hear myself, which might be coming from Ryan.
Ryan, say something, Ryan.
Hello?
I thought I heard myself, but maybe not.
Okay.
All right, let's just.
I think it's
run
good.
with it.
Okay. All right. Let's minimize this window because it's driving me crazy. All right, dramatic pause for Francois. All right, welcome to CanHammer episode 220, believe it or not. It's actually 2022, so it's a lot of twos. But welcome to the CanHammer Team Tournament 2022 pre-show. And this has actually become a little bit of a tradition, I guess, to do a show before the tournament and then do a debrief after the tournament. And this is the show where we're going to do the live pairings and we're going to figure out what missions we're going to play. And so thank you for joining me again, Francois, as usual. And tonight we're joined by special guest Ryan Bell. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
All right, and thank you for volunteering. So Ryan is joining us tonight to introduce himself to everybody who will see him this weekend. He has kindly volunteered his services to be one of the judges at CanHammer Team Tournament this weekend. So a thankless job for sure. And so thanks very much, Ryan, for stepping into the breach on that one.
No problem, man. That's very excited. It's going to be a lot of cool players, a lot of great lists, and excited to see some in-person competitive action go down after a very long time. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so it's been a couple of years, and actually, the last CanHammer Team Tournament was literally like right before lockdown. We snuck it in before it became obvious that everybody was getting sick. And that, of course, was the infamous CanHammer team where Charity Hammer brought a ringer team and basically, I think, only lost 2 points the whole weekend. And
all I remember is all those guys from Florida showed up here without winter coats.
with no
and that was
jackets.
funny.
Yeah,
It was in February and very cold.
yes, that was silly of them. But that was the last CanHammer Team Tournament, and so it's great to bring the event back. And I think the people will be aware that we're trying to run the safest event possible, COVID-wise, because we are actually technically in the sixth wave, but we've been, since the event was planned late last year, we've stuck to our guns, triple vaccination, masks, sanitizing. The venue allows a huge amount of distance. So we're trying to run the safest event possible, but still have everybody have a great time. So I'm happy that we've managed to do that. The captains and all the players have been amazing, getting themselves vaccinated, and hopefully nobody gets sick. It's a 5-day isolation period right now, so if you get sick now, you're kind of screwed. So hopefully everybody will show up healthy, and we'll be able to have a good event.
Hey, listen, I've avoided COVID for 2 years now. I got like 3 days to go.
You just gotta hibernate, stay self-isolate. Well, I guess like some people had family or went places for Easter, and so it's kind of like, it's tempting fate there.
I went to see my mom, but we all took rapid tests before we saw each other, and fingers crossed. I think we're okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What's your 40K background? Where are you from? And yeah.
So I'm from in Ontario here. I actually live in Ajax. It's from Barrie, Ontario, and I moved out to BC. My friends in Ontario, or specifically one friend, were begging me to get into 40K, and he finally tricked me into it by sending me some Space Wolves, and it's been rapidly downhill from there. It's been about 4 years and 6 or 7 factions later, and nonstop. So the last 2 years, I've been part of an awesome admin team, leading a community in Toronto. We call ourselves the GTA 40K group, and there's over 200 members in the last 8 months. So it's been pretty cool. A lot of new people to the hobby, which is great to see even during COVID. So we've been kind of leading them through that and helping do some small events. And I'm looking forward to jumping into the pool here and seeing how the big guys do it. So you're a big event, so I'm really excited.
So have you been to some of the bigger West Coast events like they have in Northwest U.S., but also I think West Coast and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've been to events. This will be my first big one that I'm judging. But I've been to the events, seen how it all goes down, played in some of them. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Just remember, as a judge, your word is law. So just like feel free to yellow card people left and right. I
Perfect. I think am I allowed to say I also accept? Sorry, is that faux pas or?
I'm going to be disappointed if you don't red card someone. Actually.
Okay, so yeah, I've got 2 people in mind, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, Jeff Brown's one.
I get Jeff Brown. I'm also in one of Jeff Brown's leagues, so maybe I won't card him for more points in the league. So I'm open to any trade of however we're going to do it. So
that reminds me, I better bring my cards. You never know. Let's get a rowdy event. No, but seriously, I was telling Ryan that probably doesn't need to do very much as a judge at this WTC style event because the captain's are supposed to sort it all out. So
Yeah, but it's the WTC, so there's a lot of weird rules that people are maybe not super familiar with.
There are a lot of weird rules.
Remember,
right.
people, you can live in walls.
Yeah. All right. So welcome aboard, Ryan. That's going to be cool. I tried really hard to get you a yellow judge shirt. I don't know if it's going to arrive in time or not, but it is.
No worries, man. I'll just wear something yellow and give everyone judging status. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
the exact same way.
You could ask Diogo if you wouldn't borrow his. He's got the other one from last time.
Awesome.
Shout out to some of the teams. We got some swag going. Got my beer in the Fighting Cephalopods mug from a couple years ago, courtesy of Will Paul. And,
yeah, I better see some awesome swag. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, that's how you get calls. You give swag to the judges. Okay, and we've got a really nice coaster from the Salty Astartes guys. So yeah, need more swag. All right. So just to update people, in case you hadn't heard, we did post online. All the captains know, of course, but we will be adopting the night mistake on the data slate. So they brought back the OBSEC for Knights and Chaos Knights, and so we will be using that for the occasional Knight players that are out there. So there you go. And we will not be using the other document they published today with the list of books and the check marks and the X's. So Crusher Stampede is still in. And so that's just an update as of today. Hopefully GW doesn't release any more rules tomorrow. or Friday or Saturday morning. I mean, they're killing me.
You
It's
know what?
killing me.
I think it'd be really funny to make the people who have a Crusher Stampede just play regular book NIDS and remove their Army of Renown. I mean, that'd be funny, right?
Man, GW killing me this year. It's ridiculous.
I mean, my team doesn't have a Crusher Stampede. We used to, and then after the data slate, because we saw what that did to Hiveguard, we went no and dropped it. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So, people know we've had a tumultuous list submission week and corrections and double submissions, and shout out to everybody for getting it done on time. It was
Yeah,
actually
by the way, I painted an extra 2,000 point in 5 days because of that. So thank you very much.
so normal speed.
Actually, I've been kind of stressed about my painting. It's kind of a well-known thing that I paint very, very fast. But this week stressed me out because I had so much to do for our team, and I'm gonna get it done, but I still have like 12 models left to do tomorrow.
Oh man, yeah. So a couple of housekeeping. So of course the venue will open at 7:30 on Saturday. It's a little bit earlier than usual, but I just want to leave a little bit extra time if people want to come. If they still need to show their vaccination, about half the teams have already sent their vaccination in ahead of time, which is great. Thank you very much. And so people can come a little bit earlier than usual to get set up and get everything there. There will be the usual team captains meeting 10 minutes before the round starts, so around 8:50, and then round starts planned for 9 o'clock. I was going to talk about the menu, but I can't remember what the menu is now offhand. But the menu's good, and I know there's no seafood. For people who told me they have seafood allergy,
What? You mean no lobster?
you get
I'm
no
very
lobster or
disappointed.
crab legs. But I think we are known to have good food at the EY Center for the event, so there will be good food, and I believe the bar is going to be Saturday, because people didn't want to get sauced and then drive home. So I think the bar will be Saturday afternoon, and it will be cash bar. So bring money.
Bring money.
Yeah.
Presumably they have some sort of Apple Pay or whatever, so you can't pay with a card.
I think so. Yes. Yeah, I don't think it's like dirty cash. Yeah. So COVID. So you must bring your own masks. I will not have masks for people. Bring enough for the 2 days. I will have a supply of about a bottle of sanitizer per table. But if you want, you can bring your own. So we will have water bottles as usual. And there's, the tea and coffee, the stuff that comes out after lunch. And do try and stay distance. The tables will be wide apart. There will be plenty of space. Try and stay as distance as you can. Don't share dice. Just do the same thing. COVID is out there right now. Lots of people getting sick. So I don't want people getting sick from this event.
Yeah, and for anyone who may be worried, the EY Center is basically an aircraft hangar.
It's huge.
Massive. The ceilings are like 30 feet in the air. There's plenty of ventilation. It's a very safe space.
Yeah. So we're making it
But still,
as safe as
don't lick
possible.
your opponent's dice.
Yeah. So so that should be good, hopefully. If you are sick, then please don't come. I know that sounds self-explanatory, but it probably isn't. If you're sick, I know it sucks. Just don't come. Do everybody a favor. Follow the public health guidelines. And otherwise, hopefully, I will see everybody there. I have not seen everybody for a long time, so it's going to be really good, and we'll have a good time. Okay.
I think everyone's excited. We're all looking forward to being back.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. Oh yeah, hot tip. Update your BCP the night before, okay? Because it don't work if it's not updated.
Only if you're a captain. If you're playing and you're not a captain, nobody cares. Captains, update your BCP.
Oh yes, I've already said, so if you want the player lists on paper, you will need to print them yourselves. I'm not printing lists. It's way too much paper. If you want paper, then you got to print it yourself. I will have a supply of score sheets that I am printing. But if you don't want to use the paper, you got the digital method, then go for that too. That's fine.
Yeah, the ITC scoring app, for anyone who isn't aware of that existing, does have WTC scoring built in. You just tick a box and it gives you a WTC score. You don't even have to do math.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I understand some people like paper, like lawyers, but yeah. So there will be some score sheets. Not enough for everybody for every single game, but there will be a supply of score sheets. And Parking should be free. It's usually free, but I think there is a small show going on in the other halls this weekend. But usually it's free. And when you enter the EY Center, we're usually on the right side as you face it of the building. So park on that right side. Unless they change it, I'll post up if it's changed. But it's usually on that side.
Last time there was an RV show going on in the other hall. I actually went and walked through it. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I think there might be a home and garden show this year. But usually they don't charge us for parking. It's usually free.
Maybe I'll go buy plants for my wife.
Get some of those bonus points back.
I have been going to a lot of 40K stuff, and I have a lot planned, so I probably need to bank some points.
You do. Yeah, home and garden show this weekend. So don't wander. Well, if you go in and there's plants and fake houses, then you're in the wrong place. We'll try and put signs, but we don't have any big banners for CanHammer team like we do for CZBB. So just look for the nerds with models, and that's where we'll be.
It's kind of hard to miss.
Yeah. Anything else I'm missing, Francois?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that's good. So let's go on. Before we do the pairings, we're going to talk a little bit of stats. So Jeremy Atkinson did some statistics on what the armies are. And so I will tell you what that is.
Jeremy's on my team, so I know those stats.
Yeah.
For everyone else.
Okay, so this is the breakdown of factions, basically. So remember, there's 24 teams, and each team can only have one of each faction. So by definition, you can't have more than 24 of one faction. And so keeping that in mind, this is the faction breakdown before the balanced data slate, and then we'll talk about after the balanced data slate. And you'd be surprised. So the number one faction in the teams was Tau with 16. So that means 2/3 of teams had a Tau player. Custodes was second at 13. Tyranids at 11. Not all of those were Crusher, but many of them were. Space Marines still rocking out at 11. And Harlequins at 10. This was pre-slate, remember. Knights at 8. Necrons at 8. Thousand Suns. And then Orcs at 6. GSC at 6. Admech 5, Drukhari 5, and then it kind of goes down from there. What do you guys think of that? I think Tau is expected to be.
I mean, pre-data slate, those numbers make sense. Post-data slate, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that there's fewer Harlequins.
You think the Space Marines
And
make
one or
sense?
two fewer Custodes, yeah.
Like Space Marines tied for third most.
And there's always a lot of Space Marines.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised there wasn't like more of the Custodes or Tau, considering how powerful they were and that they were like not everyone was trying to bring one. So that's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think it kind of actually represents the breakdown of the teams that come to CanHammer teams. So, I would say like less than a third of them are there to try and win it. A third of the guys are just there to have a good time and not win anything or try and lose on purpose to get the booby prize. And then the other the other third are people who would like to win, but they're not going to go out of the way, buy a new army, 3 weeks before, kind of thing.
Yeah, for team tournaments, most people want to play their favorite army, right? And it makes total sense. Realistically, for a tournament as big as CanHammer teams, there's only a small subset of teams that have a realistic shot at winning it all. And it's perfectly normal and fine and even a good thing that many teams are like, well, we're not going to win, but we're there to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm there to have fun, like I hate Tau. I would not play Tau under any circumstances, right? I think they're a stupid, boring army, and I hate them with a passion. So if my team said, Francois, you got to play Tau, I'd say no. Okay, and I think a lot of people, and I'm using Tau as my punching bag because that's funny, but we each have our armies that we like and we don't like, and I think it's actually on the high side that we have 16 Tau out of 24 teams. Like that's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot, and you know what? Tau is really annoying to list check. They take up a lot of space, so you have to make them really small. Oh man,
subsystems and like three weapons pursuit.
Come on,
It's
it's the worst. It's the worst for list checking. All right. So after the data slate, so there was a vote to adopt the data slate or not, and it was almost unanimous to adopt the data slate. And given in mind that was last Thursday, but we had already voted that we would wait for it and then vote on it again. So, there was a lot of voting. But so here's what happened to the factions uh, after the data slate in terms of change. So Sisters got a little bit of a buff on the data slate, but they did not change. Custodes lost 2 players, which I'm actually
My team,
surprised at.
my team dropped our custodies like it was yesterday's garbage.
So who dropped it? Was that Jeremy?
Yeah.
And what's he playing now?
And I'm gonna blow your mind. He's playing guard now.
Oh, Gar. Oh yeah, I saw that list. I'm like, what? Jeremy. Okay, so we lost.
I believe me. There's reason to the madness. There's a
Yeah. So I'm trying to think back. We lost 2 Custodes players, and many of the lists did change. Way more dreadnoughts now and less bikes.
way fewer bikes. Yeah.
Yeah. Admech didn't change. Eldari. That doesn't make sense. Okay. Astra Militarum went up by 1,
From
which was
0 to
Jeremy,
1.
the only player. Eldar went up by 2.
Well, I switched from a mix of Eldar and Harlequin to pure Eldar.
To pure Eldar. Okay. Chaos went up by 1. Chaos Space Marines did not change, so the hardcore is still the hardcore. Death Guard went up 1, which is not too surprising. Drukari went up by 1. That's maybe Harlequin players going back.
I don't know.
Yeah, Hive Mind no change, GSC no change. Grey Knights went from 2 players to 7 players.
Yeah, well, Grey Knights are big winners of the slate, by the way. Our team also dropped a Crusher for Grey Knights, so
Yeah,
we're part of that.
Yeah. So they had the biggest change actually. Grey Knights, Harlequins just lost 1 player. Knights lost 1 player. Yeah, due to the loss of OPSEC, which came back.
We gave them back.
Anyway, we had no prior knowledge of this happening. It was
listen, no offense to
just
Knight
changed their
players.
mind.
All Knight players are good, fun people, but if Knights losing OPSEC is what makes you get off Knights, you were on Knights for the wrong reason to start with.
Yeah. Imperium went down 1. Knights, Renegade Knights stayed at 2. Necrons didn't change. Orcs increased by 1. Space Marines increased by 1. Tau lost 1 player. And Thousand Suns didn't change. And Tyranids lost 4 players.
Now that makes sense, because Tyranids weren't directly hit by the Balanced Data Slate, but Hiveguard sure were. And when your Hiveguard hit on 4 and are AP 1, they're suddenly not nearly as good anymore.
No, not half as good, which is amazing.
That's why we don't have a Crusher anymore. I spent 2 weeks frantically painting a full Crusher army for Caleb to use, and now all that effort is, well, not out the window, because I will play the new Tyranid Codex, but...
Yeah, you'll play it. It's not wasted effort.
You'll use all those Hive Guard, right?
Well, the Hiveguard were already painted, so that wasn't wasted effort. And in fact, the Harpies that I painted, I'm going to bring them to the RTT next week.
Harpies.
Looking for some Tyrant Guard arms to put on there.
I do have some Tyrant Guards on the paint desk. In fact, here, they're right next to me, right here.
Yes.
All right, so we actually had, I'd like to say, unprecedented numbers this year. People applied so hard when the registrations opened that it crashed the BCP server.
Yeah,
and then they had to go back and manually figure out by the millisecond who the first 24 were. And then the other problem was people didn't get a response, so they registered like 2 or 3 times. And anyway, so Ryan, unfortunately, you were on one of the teams that didn't get in, and there were several teams that came in late because they just didn't think that it was going to go like that, but it always does usually. And
next year, 40 teams, 100 and 200 players. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, we were limited.
We know work.
Yeah, we were limited this year because first of all, we didn't know what COVID was going to do, so we didn't want to have a crazy stupid event. and then have to like axe half the teams or something if they like put some kind of restriction in. And then also, we changed all the terrain this year, completely all new terrain to the kind of the modern style, and we couldn't do that many tables all at once. Like it's just a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. I spent 2 Sundays at Chris's house assembling and painting the terrain.
Exactly. So we did what we could, which is still amazing. And shout out to Dan, of course, providing stuff as well. I mean, sponsored Red Dragon. So yeah. So we managed to stick it at 124, which I think is where it was last time, 24 teams.
Yeah.
So Ryan, what were you going to bring?
I probably would have brought Tyranids. I probably would have stuck with them even through the Hive Guard change. But that's because I started playing Tyranids this summer and literally haven't let up. Won a couple RTTs and had a lot of fun with them. So I probably would have out Tyranids, and we would have had a Custodes player, and we would have been crying very hard into our hands after the Data Slate ripped apart. So, but all's well that ends well. I still end up going, and I still get to see everyone. So
yeah. So do you live in Ajax? So do you go to the Toronto events and like see the Toronto guys all the time, or?
So we unfortunately there haven't been any big Toronto events while I've been here, except for Stutter Snotling, and I didn't end up getting to go to that one. But I'm looking forward to going to that one hopefully this year. And yeah, we're going to do a lot more events. And like I said, the organization that we're helping run is probably going to do a lot more events, and we're growing and doing bigger events. So we're excited to do our own thing and hopefully have you guys there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And actually, Ryan, if you're looking for an event, and I'm going to just shamelessly plug this event because I wanted to sell out for my own selfish reasons. But on May the 28th, the Red Dragon, our sponsors, Dan's store, is doing a 1-day Ironman GT, 5 games of Warhammer in 1 day. And I'm so excited for that.
That's
it's going
awesome.
to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the not the last CanHammer team, the one before that, the last one where we were a traveling show, we did at the Ajax Arena, which is funny. Oh. And that was the last time that CanHammer team was out west side. Then it moved home.
Why did you ever do it out there? Anyway, that's the conversation for a different day.
Yeah. And so before we go to pairings, CCPB this summer. The date is not set, but it, as usual, will probably fall in the 1 or 2 weeks between WTC and Nova, which is traditionally where it falls. And so look out for that. People have been asking me a lot about it, and I'm like, one event at a time, people.
Listen, I've been asking Darren about it, and he refuses to answer.
I've been getting tons of messages from all sorts of people. But I'm like, one event at a time. Yeah, one event at a time. Okay, let's do pairings. So traditionally, we pull the first round pairings out of basically a hat or a box, and we will do that again this year.
I found this little thing that is, I'm pretty sure my wife's iron, like to pour water in it, but whatever. I have 14 folded pieces of paper in my hand, and I'm going to shuffle them in there.
So there have been 5 grudges which were proposed and accepted. 1 grudge that was declined for reasons unknown. But the grudges that we have for the first round are, of course, Atomic Death Squad versus Fighting Cephalopods. Battle for the basement. First place holders versus Game Knights. The return of Dan. First place holders 2.0. I really wish they just picked a different name.
They should have just been the second place holder.
Yeah.
Like, come on. That's such a wasted opportunity. Yeah. First place holder 2.0. No, that's terrible. Second place holders.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so the 2.0 will be against BBB, which again is just a short form of Bloodbath and Beyond. Oh wow, which stands for Our Wives something of Warhammer or something. I can't remember.
I want to know.
Yeah, Our Wives something of Warhammer versus Scotch Hammer, and Team Hambone versus Dom and the Northern Defenders. So those are the 5 grudges for the first round.
Shout out to Scotch Hammer. Last CanHammer teams, they got me a little bit tipsy.
Oh, our wives are weary of Warhammer.
Well, to be fair, that's pretty much
mostly true. It's mostly true. All right. Okay, let's pull the first round. Go, Francois.
All right. first team that I'm pulling is just one piece of paper at a time, please. All right, Curious Degenerates. Team
All right.
captain Ryan Tutton.
That's the Tottens captaining that.
So the Curious Degenerates are playing the Cornflakes. Team
The
captain Alan Shittids. I apologize if I messed that
Cornflakes.
name.
All right, I remember the Tottens, super tall guys. I don't think I know Elon and the Cornflakes, so that should be interesting.
Those guys are from out our way, GTA 40K. So that's
Okay.
our one team that made it in. So,
I'm pretty sure the Curious Degenerates is the only other team except mine that has an avatar on their roster, an avatar of Kane. So I am rooting the Curious Degenerates.
All right, there we go. Curious Degenerates versus the Cornflakes.
Yes, sir. All right, should I pick another? We ready?
Hang on. Where did my thing go?
Okay. Fine, I'll wait.
Oh, it crashed. Hang on. I just need to write that down.
Okay, if you forget to write them down, I do have them like paired up on the desk in front of me.
Cornflakes. Okay, next one.
All right, the next team. Come on, drum roll, please. One piece of paper at a time. There we go.
I love the chat. I love the chat.
Stud or Scrub.
Stud or Scrub.
And Stud or Scrub is going to be playing against. Oh, that's my team, the Vengeful Spirits. Oh, that's going to be a Clash of Titans round 1. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that, but we're going to deal with it. All right, Nick, start obsessing about the Stud or Scrub pairing.
So we got to put some money on this.
Yes.
Francois, do you bet on yourself?
Oh, of course I do. We're going to crush those fools.
So who's on Stud again? So it's Dustin's playing GSC, Scary.
Scary on Dark Eldar.
Yeah.
And Scary and I have a grudge to settle because at BPO, he and I played, and I got into my own head a little, and I did not play my best game of Warhammer.
Matchup. And then what? Jesse's playing. Is he playing Custodes?
Yes, indeed, he is.
And then who else on Stud? Is Diogo on Stud?
So they have someone playing Cow. I'm almost 100% sure, and they must have someone playing some kind of Eldar. Okay. I should know this because we've actually, my team has been going through all the other team and going through pairings. But all of a sudden, I don't know. I'm suddenly stressed out because that's going to be a tough match. So
Adam Hauser's playing Tau.
Yeah. Adam's playing Tau.
So you got to throw Nick to the Tau then. Throw Nick to the Tau.
I think Nick would be perfectly happy to play Tau. I don't know. Let's see. So Stud.
And then Yoshi's playing Crusher.
Yeah, Diego's playing Crusher. Adam's playing Tau. Jesse's playing Custodes. Dustin's playing. It says Adeptus Roritus on BCP, so we'll hold him to that. Dustin, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to play your GSC. You're playing.
Captain should update the BCP
because that's what it says on BCP. So I mean, that's the rules. I'm sorry, Dustin. Captain's trying to
update your BCP before Saturday.
No, I mean that's the rule, right? He's playing Sisters of Battles.
And so, who are you going to put guard into? That's the question.
I have no idea. See, this is the beauty of being a player on a team. Last CanHammer team, I was a captain, and that stressed me out way too much. So this time, I'm just doing my thing. I'm gonna bring my 9D cannon platforms and table some fools, and that's my job, right?
All right.
So, well, maybe not in this matchup, but
well, you know who's liking this matchup? The CanHammer guys, Blunt Force Trauma. They're liking this matchup.
You mean the Fighting Broccolis?
The Fighting Broccolis. Sparkle
All right.
Hammer.
So next,
they should have called it Sparkle Hammer.
Beer and Pretzel with Ryan Pippi, and our very own Dan is on that team as well.
Beer and Pretzels.
Beer and Pretzel is going to be fighting Cruising for Bruising. That's Jay Limer and our very own Phil Ivanusig.
Oh, Phil against Ryan. That'll be a nice guy game.
Actually, that's going to be a fun one. I like that pairing.
I do too.
All right. Next up, we have 40K Semi-Pro Team Captain Chris Mulling.
Semi-Pro.
And Semi-Pro is going to be playing against Bloodbath and Beyond. Amza.
All right. Semi-Pro. Some old school teams there. Okay.
Semi-Pro versus Bloodbath and Beyond. And now we have, next we have Lords of the Grimdark, Captain Jake Mitchell.
I think new team to the CHCT.
Lords of the Grimdark are going to be playing against Dirty Mark and the boys.
Dirty Mark.
Captain Mark Crocco.
Who have the best team logo, by the way. It's just the old man pushing the trolley.
Yeah. All right.
That's
we
the
still don't have team Bacon, Lettuce, and Tomato. Chris's team. The Ghetto Cowboys are my next
Mike Strang's
draw.
team.
Captain Mike Strang. And by the way, I would like everyone to acknowledge that not only did I print pieces of paper with the team names on it, the captains are also there.
Yeah.
And they are going to be playing the Saltiest Starty.
Oh. All right.
All
Salty
right, so
Starties versus Ghetto Cowboys. So apparently Mike got complaints about his team name, that it was inappropriate. And anyway, that was kind of funny. And he asked me about like if we should change it. I'm like, it's like a 40K tournament.
Anyone who can do math knows that there's only 2 names left in my little not hat but container here. So without further ado, we have Captain Team Sucker Punch, which is Chris's team.
Blunt Force Trauma. I don't know who came up with that name.
Well, Team Sucker Punch is playing Team Rejects. Jeff Brown.
Oh, it's another big matchup in the first round.
So, yeah, these are some interesting and fun pairing.
Francois, you loaded that one.
I mean, I wish I had loaded it. I would not have drawn that if I'd rigged it. This is not the pairing I would have come up with.
Okay, so who do you got between Blunt Force Trauma and Team Rejects?
Well, I mean, as much as I like Jeff better than Chris, because really he has better leggings, I do think that Blunt Force Trauma is going to take that one.
I think so, eh? So Chris, Eric, Sparkles, and
Tim. And,
Tim.
I don't know, someone else.
It's the fifth guy.
No, someone's going to be very upset that we're blanking on who their 15 player is.
All right. So just to go over those pairings again, I will publish them.
So, by the way, I am lending Tim 120 racks. So, Jeff, if you're listening and you want to bribe me to forget those racks at home, let's talk.
Yes. Clearly, no bribery here, right? Word on this podcast, we're not talking about any bribery whatsoever.
I mean, I got a PM from Tim a couple of weeks ago. Like, I hear you have 120 painted racks. Is that true? Yes, it's true. Could I borrow 120 painted racks for CanHammer team? And I told him at the time, and I'll say it now. It's a mistake. I painted 120 racks. I played 120 racks for exactly 3 games at 1 RTT, and they went straight back on the shelf. Not because it's not good, but because I wanted to kill myself afterwards.
Yep. All right, so I'll post these on the CanHammer event Facebook page, and but that's a very compelling first round. So, will we have a non-5-0 team this year?
It could happen. The one thing that I've been thinking about is that there's going to be, I think, a lot of ties because of the way that WTC scoring works and the way that the missions work and the balance data slate kind of taking a little bit of the edge away from some of the top armies. I'm expecting a lot of ties, so that'll be real interesting. For example, my team playing against Stud. If I had to put money on it, I think we win, obviously. We're clearly the superior team. But it's not unlikely that ends up in a tie, right? A 52-48 or something like that. That's a tie.
It could be. It'll be interesting to see that first round as a doozy.
There's a couple big clashes there.
Yeah.
Some of the teams that you would expect to see at the end might already be down a set. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
If I was going to rank the teams, I would have both my own team and the stud team fairly up in the rankings, and now we're clashing round one. So someone's hopes are going to get dashed right away.
Well, I
Unless
mean,
it's high.
yeah, I mean, if no team goes 5-0 though, like it's anybody's game still.
Because I'm guessing there's going to be ties, I think if someone loses, they're probably out. Now, they can still end up top 3, top 5, which is still really good. And if we lose round 1, we're going to keep giving it our all. And I'm very sorry for whoever round 2 gets the loser of the stud versus vengeful spirit matchup. That's probably not going to be pretty, but we'll leave it at that.
Okay, the final part, we are going to roll the missions. So we have not excluded any missions. We have all 9 to roll from,
We're gonna
and
play the scouring 5 times, right?
we're going to play the scouring 5 times. So I have my handy dandy dice here. Black's going to be the first digit, and white's going to be the second digit. I'm sorry, I'm in my living room, so I don't have a dice cam. But we're going to roll out of the 9, and so see what happens. So round 1 is 3-2. That is Death and Zeal.
Oof, big one.
What do you think of that mission?
I love that.
I wish I could remember what that mission is.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually played that one.
I've definitely played it. I just it doesn't stick out in my mind.
5 objectives, the circle in the middle, and you get 2 points for having taking an objective that you didn't have before, 1 point for killing a unit that wasn't on before.
It's the go first and win mission. Yeah, I remember now.
Oh, okay. Round 2 is 1-3. Data Scry Salvage.
I like that one.
I do like that mission, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one, is that the diagonal one?
Diagonal,
where you get
6 objectives.
Yeah.
Do the action in your home depending on how many objectives you control in the midfield.
Yeah. Okay, so round 2, Data Scry Salvage. Round 3. 3-1, Tide of Conviction.
That's the one with the funky objectives. Like, it looks weird when you measure them on the map, but they actually make total sense once they're actually down.
It's like the slightly, the Dawn of War slightly displaced one.
Dawn of War slightly offset.
It takes you like 30 minutes to set up.
It's a fine one. I don't mind that one. It's a good mission. I mean, they're all good missions.
Yeah,
we have a Dawn of War in there, though. I love that.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're going to get a mix. What was the first one in terms of deployments? What was the first one? Death and
Zeal. It was corners, diagonal, now.
Yeah, we have one of everything so far.
Okay, cool.
We need Hammer and Anvil.
Okay, here we go. Next one is 3-3. Secure mission
artifact.
Missing artifacts.
That's another diagonal. It's a fine mission. I don't mind it at all.
Okay, and that was a boxcar roll. I'm hot. Rolling my invulns tonight. And here's the final mission. It is 3-2 again. No, I keep rolling 6s on this black dice, man.
Loaded dice.
Nope. That's Data Scry again. Rolling 6s again. Okay. 2-2. Conversion.
That's another corner mission. So we don't have a hammer and anvil.
Okay. Here, let's roll a hammer and anvil. Which numbers are hammer and anvil?
No. That's we've got 5 missions. That's fine.
Yeah, but don't we want some variety?
I don't know. I guess you make the rules.
Yeah, let's do a hammer and anvil.
All right.
He wants the scouring.
So 1-1 is hammer and anvil. 2-2, 2-3 is hammer and anvil, and what's the other hammer and anvil? That's it.
Yeah, so 11 and
1-1 and 2-2.
So it's relics and
relics and
the scouring. Okay, 4 up for the scouring.
Okay.
It is a 4. So scouring will be the last mission.
2-3. So we have 3-2, 1-3, 3-1, 3-3, and so the last mission is going to be scouring. Oh God. Okay.
Had you said that before GT22 came out?
To be fair, the scouring is actually a fine mission now.
I love it
much
now.
better,
Yeah,
much better than it was.
yeah.
It's still, because of the way the objectives are placed, I still think it's a little skewed to going first, but whatever. It's a fine mission.
All right, so we got Death and Zeal, round 1. Round 2, Data, Scry, Salvage. Round 3, Tide of Conviction. Round 4, Secure Missing Artifacts. And round 5, the Scouring. We will post this on the Facebook page as well. So don't worry, don't panic. It's going to go be there in about 20 minutes. Don't worry, don't panic. I know people are panicking. You're posting
Are
in
any
chat.
of those are any of those hold twos? I wonder. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think conversion
Probably.
or death is, or yeah, I can't. I don't think any of those. Actually, Tide of Conviction is hold two. I'm pretty sure. The funky one.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I can't
My
remember.
plan is to study all those missions in the next 48 hours and make sure that I remember what they do.
All right, so you teams get working on your matchups and pairings for round 1, Death and Zeal. Frantic conference calling and zooming. And that should be good. That should be good.
All
Okay.
right.
I think that about wraps it up. Any last minute words?
No.
I'm suddenly this feels real.
It's actually happening. Okay, well, I want everybody to stay safe, isolate so you don't get sick before the weekend, and travel safe. And we'll see everybody bright and early on Saturday morning. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us tonight on the cast.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, Francois, as usual. Thanks, everybody, for following, watching, and supporting the event. And we'll see everybody this weekend.
See you this
See you soon.
weekend.
All right, good night.